Hello everybody, this is Sonya. Just put my camera up. Now, I've got to turn it on before I put it up there because I can't reach up there to turn it on. Now, I'm coming on here today because I'm going to show you how to make these bead dolls. I had a request to put them a video on a tutorial for them, so it didn't take much because I'm really excited about looking for it and making some more, okay? So, for those of you that are interested in them, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to do them. Now first I want to show you how I finished off this thing that I was making yesterday. I thought I'd give you a look at this. When I say thing, it's probably something that we could just use as, I was going to put on a jar or a bottle or something, you know. So a lot of people would have seen this on Facebook because I put it up there when I'd finished it. But for those of you that are not on there, I've just put this up to show you that that's what it looks like when it's done. I think I've finished it. This is just my prototype sort of thing, you might say. It's just for my own self to give me an idea how to do it, okay? But then I laid awake for ages last night thinking about other things about it. So, but anyway, now I have a really vast collection of beads, and that's because for years I've always bought old jewellery that's not too old. I've also bought new stuff that's not too expensive because to get the beads. Now I have a collection of large beads, and which is probably only a small part of it. I've got a few of them in here because these are what I'm going to use today. I have these acrylic flowers that I think I was gifted some, and some of them I actually purchased myself, but these are really good to put little hair on, or hat on your bead doll. These ones here have got a hole in either end, like that goes straight through from the top to the bottom, or whichever way, so they make a good little foot. The other ones you get like this have got a hole going through that way, and that's not quite what you need for today anyway. So you'll need to get some large sort of beads. Now these are really good glass ones, but I do have some acrylic ones in the pile of things, but that's okay. I don't think it matters what you use. So I've got those ones that I'm going to be using for the bodies and whatever have you, and then I've got these sort in here, and these are good for little arms and legs to join to make the arms and legs. These are put together. Now these are acrylic, but these don't look too bad. These are sort of gold colours. They're acrylic, but they look really good because they're a nice acrylic bead. If you can understand that. I don't know what these are. I think these could be totally plastic. They don't look too bad. They're nearly a colour of a person. And this one here is actually joined together, and it is actually a glass one. Make a really good little bottle, because I collected all these up as well to make the little miniature perfume bottles. So I've got those lot there that I might use for their little legs and arms, and then I've got these lot here that I've got to use for bodies and arms and legs. Now these are plastic, but I like them, you know. And these are actually glass, and I really like them too. These are nice, really nice glass ones. And these ones here they're a really, if there's such a thing as a good plastic one, they're a better plastic one than these plastic ones, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I've also got these, and these are really good ones that I used on the legs. You'll have to excuse my fingers. I've got a pen leaking somewhere, and I got that all over me this morning. And there's of course pearls. Now also you need to make sure that, and I've got these as, you know, just for as well, you know, those. Now also you need to make sure that your wire is going to go through the holes of your beads. I've got in this box here a small collection of bead caps, because we use the bead caps as well. So there's different sorts of those here. I've got these ones I put in because I thought they would look nice going around the neck of the doll. And I've got these ones that are already, don't know where I got these, but I'm really pleased because they're already painted, And I've also got some that's not painted. Therefore, like if I wanted to use a bead for a head or something, you know, like a wooden one. And then I've got these bigger bead caps here that I used on the ones I made yesterday or the day before. So now we're going to get together. The thing is, like, you can pick out what you want to use, of course, first up. But I don't know if you're like me and I just go and see what works as I'm going along a lot of the time. But for these ones, what I used to make them, I think I'll do something like this so you can see like how that one's put together, okay? Now, wire. We need some wire. You have to, you need to make sure that your wire is going to go twice through a bead. I made a little tiny, I did a tutorial on a very small bead doll way back in the beginning when I was first starting out, and it was made with one piece of wire. But it also was it wasn't easy to do this with one piece of wire because it's just too thick. The wire's too thick. It's a very strong thing, and that's what I was looking for, because I thought if a little kid likes it or something, you know, you don't want it to fall apart 2 minutes after they've got it, so you need something that's really solid, like a solid wire. So I've got this really good white stuff I bought years ago on this reel. I think it cost us $1 a reel at the time. Absolutely awesome. One of them might be a little bit thicker than the other, I don't know. Yes, it is. That one's a little bit thicker than this one. So I might use this one today, because you can also get all these ones like I was fortunate enough to buy at the garage sales that day. Now this is just the thing. It's just the thing. You want something that's very sturdy that you can work with. And then you can also go and buy this sort of wire here that you get in the shops. This one here is a 28 gauge. It's very, very, very flimsy. And your doll could tip, it might not, like it might not stay quite stiff like this. Now I had some really good comments, and Dennis said to me that this would make a really good brooch. Well, I laughed at first, and then I thought, well, no, maybe you're right, you know. You could have a fantastic brooch with that. It'd be absolutely awesome. So back to this now. This is a 28 gauge wire. I've got a pink one here, and I think it must be about the same. You can buy it in gold. I put them in the plastic bags because I don't want them unraveling and going all over the place, because they just spring off these reels and just go all through you and mix up with one another. So I've been putting them in bags. Now I am going on a little bit, but I need to talk to you about these things. So I wanted to show you too what sort of things I buy, you know, to get the beads off her. Now you probably think this is really nasty, because I do. I wouldn't wear this in a fit. So that's a very nice thing to say, but I hope the person that made it's not watching. I don't know who that would have been. These are plastic. That's okay. They could come in handy on something. And these are too, but these have got a hole going through that way. Look at that. See, isn't that fascinating? Now that would be a head, maybe, but you've got to work out how to fasten that onto there. Also, this would hang on the wire like I was doing with the thing I was making yesterday. If you put this through, because you could paint it up or stick something on it, and which I probably will play around with doing later on, and have it as a dangly bit. You know, so I've got all these different sizes then, and this cost me 50 cents, I think. And you know how much beads and things cost, because they are really, really expensive. Even now, though, some of the opportunity shops, that's what we call them, or craft shops here, not craft shops. You know, Salvation Army, St Vincent de Paul, your thrift shops, okay, they start to charge a little bit of money for. I might just stick that in here. I think they're running away from me. Hey, they're going to fit. The little ones I've got to grab. They're rolling. I didn't know there was a slope on my tail. You don't until you start playing with beads, do you? You don't realise that there's something that's making them roll away. I just want to put those in there. I might see these bits here. Then you've got all these tiny little things that join. You know, you can go and buy these things on eBay, but you got to find them, you got to pay for them, you know what I mean? You just sort of... So I've, over the years, well, for many years now, collected up lots of bits and pieces, as you can see by what I've got here. So I'm going to put them in this one here, I think. And then if I need one of those, that's what maybe I'll find them. I usually put a thing on the top of my... and to the top of the box that there is more in a different part of the bead collection, you know, so I can go and have a look and find them. I'll put these in here. These ones here somebody sent me. I'm sorry I don't remember who, but they've got little faces on them. Look at that. Now these are all right for little kids. You know, you could make a little kid one up, but then you got beads, so people don't like buying things for kids that make beads, do they? In case they chew them up. Now, I'm getting started. Look at me. Right, now I'm going to have a mouthful of water after all that. It is still cold here in Australia. Please, somebody bring us some warm weather. It is still cold, and I just am not one bit happy. Not one bit happy at whatsoever, because my body's not happy at all, neither am I. But anyway, excuse me, I'll just have a mouthful of this. Now, let me see. We're going to make one of those. So, I made this with a little bit thicker wire, but I want to do this one because I found it really hard to push through some of the beads. Or that might have been the green one I did. It might have been this green one, because the wire was a little bit thick. But this one here is not too bad. You just use your own judgment on it. I mean, if you want to... you see that they've got, when you go to buy your beads or water, just check that the hole's big enough. The majority of pearls that I find that are good, there's no way you can get through them. So now here I'm going to just eyeball this because of the size of the doll. Now, this is 8 inches, which is in centimetres. Got to think about the young people. It's 20 centimetres. And I've doubled that. Okay, so you need to have it either 40 centimetres or 16 inches long, because that's what I'm looking at for this size doll here. Okay, maybe I've got too much. No, see, because there's a hair. So you work out you need it about that long. You want 2 of those. So 2 lengths, the same length. Just measure it this way. If I turn it over. Hang on. Every time I come on the camera, something has to be scratched. Or you know, things move on you. It's ridiculous. Hair hangs in my face, or anyway. Now, we've got 2 of these. So all you do is just start with one leg, and we need to get the ones that are going to. Well, we're going to pick out something smartly here. So I want to make one a different colour this time. So I was going to go with that one. How about that? With yellow feet, and little orange hands, maybe. That's not the right colour orange. I want this colour orange. Little orange hands, a pretty flower. It's a nice flower. One for the top of its head. Well, I can't really decide that till I decide what I'm going to put on the... Might have to be green. How about we go with the yellow in the centre? We'll see what it looks like when we get to that. There's a green one. Okay, now I need some beads for its legs, and I'm going to go with the white because I think they look really cool. So there's the white leg beads. So there'll be 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, and arms, little arms, so yellowy colour, something yellowy colour, yellowish, sort of, orange. These might look alright. I'll see when I get to it how these look. Okay, what do you reckon? It might look alright, you know. I'll try those. Anyway, so I'll put that back down there. And we need some little top bits. And the very, very bottom, we need a very small bead. So, well, no, we don't, because we're going this way, aren't we? Righto. So now we're going to put on the feet. We're going to put this one on first, so that it goes like that on there. Now just pull it up as tight as you can as you're going along. Now over the top of that one, I'm going to put a piece of one of these gold bead caps here. Gold bead cap. My hands are dry. I'm sure you don't have to. And there we go, that's that one. And then we're going to have 4 of these. One, I should have cut these at the same length, shouldn't I? It would have been a lot easier to work with. I was supposed to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. My husband has got an incubator with hatching baby chickens, and they only put them in yesterday, him and Ellie. She bought the eggs for him for Father's Day so he could hatch some chickens so we can have some chooks again, because we used to always have chooks. I know that we won't be doing the rooster thing, I don't think. I don't really, well, I'm not really partial to him crowing either, but if you've got to have these things in the world, I think they're part of life, aren't they? And you can't have we can have them without the rooster, I suppose. We keep buying the eggs, but that's a bit silly. Now, I've got 2 legs. Now on this one here, I've actually put another bead up under there, but I found when I did it on this one, it made it too wide. So it depends on the size of your beads, whether you want to put that one underneath for a little bit of a body on it. So I'm just going to keep going and make this exactly the same, because I think that's what we need to do. And I'm thinking now I will have the green. I'm going to go with the green skirt. So now you put both these through here, okay? Here's me not explaining any of this. I'm hoping that you can follow what I'm doing. And you know what? Best to do one at a time. It'll work better, because they should fit. So that's another thing with your wire. Now you don't want it to be too thick, fat, you know, because it won't go through. But then if it fits through nicely, it's a little bit better too, because it's holding it really tight. See? Now I've got to get these level. I wonder if I could try putting one of these underneath it, just for curiosity's sake, and see what it looks like. I'll have another go, because I think I made sorry about the noises, I think I made that one first. I'll put these here, and then when I put that other one under it, it seemed to work a bit better. I don't know. Oh, well, look at that. There you go. It's going to be, well, that works just fine, Sonia. Well, I don't know why I didn't do it the first time. You know, I don't know, I do so much fiddling around, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. There we go. That's nice things for you to say to you when I'm trying to show you how to do something. And a yellow belly, because I just like the colour of that. Isn't that cool? Then we are going to put on, we're going to have to take these apart, because I want to just do one on the arm and one on the other arm, okay? So on the end of you'll start by putting the ones on first that are going to be the arms. I hope there's not too big for arms. They don't look too bad, do they? 3. How far does the arms come down? You've got to realise that that's going to come over there a bit. Yep. And then I'm going to put on one of these tiny things here. This is a tiny little bead, tiny little thing for beading. There's a gold one. I have gold ones and silver ones. Got a little wheel, and then I'm going to put the hand on like that. And I'm thinking that's probably could be about right. Yeah, okay. So then all you got to do is just turn this over, and you push it up back through. Not the first one, but these next ones going up here. Now this part I find I do struggle with sometimes, so, you know, just, you've got to persevere, don't you? Okay. Now, just pull that up there, see how it's going. It's not bad. It's not bad. It won't come right to the top there because you got to think now you've got that bead, you know, and you want him to hang down. If you pulled it right to the top of its arms, would be just sticking straight out, you know, like that. So you need it to come down a bit. So we're just going to go to that part. We're not going to stress out about that. And I might put this around here, just one time around the top of this piece of wire here, just to hang on to that nicely. And then we'll do the other side. Now, we have one of these, one of these, another one of these, and one of these first, a little ring thing, and then this little thing, and it goes back that way because for some reason I've got these coming to a point, but that's okay because that looks alright. Looks like a hand, doesn't it? Now we're going to turn it and we're going to go back through these. We missed the first one and go back through these ones here, and that one. Now I really enjoy doing things, you know, when people want to learn about something, and I don't mind doing tutorials if I know how to make it. So if anybody out there has a interest in learning anything that you think I can do, or you've seen me do before or whatever, and I haven't actually showed you how to do it, if you let me know, I'd be really, really, really happy about that, because I really would like to put up things. I've got that going the wrong way. I bet you've all seen that, and you're all going, Sonya, you put it on the wrong way. It's got to go the other way, because it turns when you put it in, so you put it back that way. Yeah, so if anybody really wants to see anything about, there's a few things though that I will do. I think I'm going to do a tutorial eventually or soon on how I made that Igor, because people ask me about that, and I need to actually show you. It's hard to explain, so I don't mind showing how that's done, a bird that I did. I will probably do another bird. You can do lots of different things in the style of it. Now, be prepared to get it all mucked up like this, but you know, nobody panic, because it'll still work if we just keep going. Anyway, we persevere. When you first do something and it doesn't go right, and you think, oh, I can't do that. Well, I used to get so wild with my children when they did something and they said, oh, I can't do that. And I thought, oh, gee, you know, you got to keep trying. You can't just give up. There's very, very few things I ever give up on. I go away from it for a while. I reckon you should leave things alone that are working. I go away from it for a while until I get the hang of it, and then I'll think about it and I come back. Might not even be, sometimes for ages I come back and I'll try and have another go at doing it, you know, because I was struggling with doing the tile things that I still haven't, the ones that you cook, and I still haven't got the round to that yet. But you know what, I'm going to keep going with it. Just, if you make yourself, it makes you too angry, you think, oh no, I can't do this, I'll just throw it in the bin. But you've got to keep going, you've got to have a go. Because there's amazing things out there we can make. We can make anything, you know. Well, we can, of course. But there's so much you can do with needle and cotton or paper, or we can just be very, very good at all things. Now, this one here, I didn't make these long enough, these two pieces to go through for hair, because they're not going to be able to go through my bead. Now you can see me here battling with this, and I probably shouldn't be winding it up all crazy like. I need to fix it properly. So now just fix it properly and stop. I want to take them up through the top bead. I do. I want to take them right through the top. I can't understand what I've gone wrong with. Maybe I just needed to make it longer. Okay, so I've got it undone the best I can, because I want to go take it through the top bead, like I said, so it's all together. But now, before that, I want to put on a collar type sort of thing, like that. Okay, so I have these that I was gifted from Elaine. Oh, you silly eels. She says, my doll's scare. I don't think this is going to go through here, because I don't think the hole's big enough. I don't think so. No, it's not. It would go through a very fine wire, but not for that one. So that's not going to go on there, but this one here will. Now, these are the ones that I bought these off eBay, and I was so pleased when they got here. I usually get something, and it's the smallest thing. It's not the biggest thing at all. This is going to be hard for me to get this through here because I've wrinkled it up so bad playing around with it. But we're going to keep going, and we're going to get it through there, aren't we? And if we don't, we'll just come and get me in there. One more bead, one more piece of wire through. Come on, you can do this. Maybe you can't. Righto. Let's take it off. And we'll wrap this around here again. And then we'll cut it off. And we'll just use the top tube, won't we? We're going to see. We will also do that. We'll just roll this around here. So it's caught on. Oh, you ladies that do beadwork, you'll be absolutely laughing. But what, you know. So this is fun, you know. This is fun. I mean, so I'm going to get the pliers, another pair of pliers. I'm going to cut these off. I've got to get close enough. I'll do it with this. Do it with my old scissors. They can do it for me. Cut that off really short if I can. And make sure it doesn't hit me in the eye. Now, I did look at the clock when I started this, but you know what? I didn't remember what time it was. I was too busy wondering about what other things, you know, instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. Now, I can put this over the two and tuck that other wire so it's not going to stick into anybody. Now this will bend down over there, over my beads. You've got shoulder pads, or you could take those two out. You really cut those, you nearly get away with cutting those two out there. Or you could leave them and just put your bead for your head down in it. I don't know. There's something that can be, I might just leave them on his little arms. Hey, it's not shoulder pads, they're just like little, you know, things for his arms. There we go. Now, you got to put the head on. I did not pick out a head, did I? I thought I'd leave that until the end part so I could... He's orange. Now that's cool, isn't it? Really? You need the orange head. Yes. And then on top of the orange head we can have a greenish colour flower. And there. So, what I did was, I just curled it up, the wire, to try and make something that looked vaguely like hair on top of its head. Round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Reasonably tight so nothing's going to come undone, you know. You don't want it to all fall apart. Probably need to pay attention to where you've put the piece, the end bits, because you don't want it all being over anybody sticking themselves with it. So I thought too that these might be nice in the garden. You can hang them in the garden. I thought there was a few ideas you could do with them anyway, so I don't, I know people have made them out of buttons and beads and things like that, you know, so it just depends, you know, what you want to do. His legs are a bit skew-whiff there, but we have to fix him up a bit, make him look a bit better. But there you go, so there's a bead doll, and that's how you made the bead doll, and I hope that Karen, that you enjoy doing that, because I think he's quite fun to make, and I hope that anybody else that wants to make one will be interested in doing them. With these ones here, I've made them just with smaller beads, and then I have long beads that I thought might be good for legs, like these, and you'd need knees, wouldn't you? If you had something like that, you'd need to put little knees like being a knee, you'd put a piece in between it maybe, and then it'd bend, wouldn't it? And then you could have a little knee on your, if you want to make a leg that had two of those in it. They'd bend anyway, but really, really cute if it had